What's going on, everyone? It's your girl, Wisdom's daughter. Welcome to the live. Whether you're joining me from channel or you're joining me from Bad Girls Talk, welcome to the channel, everybody. I got a question. I have a question. Who the hell is this? Okay. Who is this supposed to be? Because this don't look nothing like Donald Trump. Okay, please help me. Is Donald Trump dying? Because the man is hunched over. He's swollen. He's pale. Okay, um, this looks like a stunt double to me. This looks like a stunt double to me. Listen, y'all go ahead and hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and let's get into this foolishness. Let me go ahead and greet those who are first up in the building. And we got a lot to talk about because Donald Trump is supposed to be making a special announcement today at 2 p.m. It is 2:18, and I do not believe he has gone live with that special announcement. But something is amiss. Anyway, I am Mrs. BB is in the building. Say good evening, good afternoon, WD, and all. June's Poetry is here. Nola Brown is in the building. Ale said it's a ghost. Boo. Nesto Shackle Shuffle Walk of Shame is in the building. Black but not bitter is here. What's going on, Queen? She said one can only hope. Nesto said Donald Trump is going to have a massive heart attack. We're actually going to hear from some experts in terms of all that because, yeah, something is definitely not right with Donald Trump. Why is he using a body double? Because this doesn't look anything like him. First of all, where's the MAGA hat? Donald Trump don't go nowhere without his damn MAGA hat. Where is the MAGA hat? If this is Donald Trump, he is in trouble. First of all, look at his neck. His skin is pasty. What is this right here? I mean, he looked like a whole Neanderthal. Okay, we're used to seeing Donald Trump looking like this. All right, very orangey. Okay, let me see. Maybe this is a better picture. Okay, that's what we're used to seeing. All right, he's always falling asleep. This is what he. You know what? Oh, okay. I was getting ready to say something mean. Maybe I shouldn't say it, but this is gonna be what Donald Trump gonna be looking like in his casket. The man can't stay awake to save his life. He's always falling asleep. But this got my attention. Okay. Um, Here is Donald Trump. This was taken yesterday. Him leaving the White House on his way to play golf. You can clearly see that he's hunched over. You can see, he's looking very pale, very, very swollen. But what is this? I was trying to figure out, was he walking with a cane? Was he trying to get assistance? Donald Trump is not looking good at all. We've already noticed the bruising on his hands, okay, and the cankles. That's why we call him King Cankles, okay. So he's got the swollen ankles, he's got his bruised up hand, and this is not even the worst picture that we've seen of his bruised up hand. But we're going to hear from some experts because Don Lemon went live some hours ago and had a physician give her take on what she thinks is going on with Donald Trump. So let's go ahead and take a look at that. But I don't know who this is supposed to be right here. I don't know who this is supposed to be, but it has been rumored that when Vladimir Putin was sick, he did use a body double. So I'm wondering if Donald Trump is doing the same thing. But we ain't heard from this dude in about 3, 4, 5 days. We hadn't heard from him. And then suddenly we get some photos that are supposed to be Donald Trump. And this is an enhancement of that photo. If this is Donald Trump, that man is dying. Okay. I don't know if it's congestive heart failure. I don't know if it's the vein thrombosis thing, but let me go ahead and share with you a video from Don Lemon and this doctor giving her take on what she feels this could be, what she thinks is going on with Donald Trump. So yeah, let's go ahead and listen to this.
speculating about bruising on the president's hand and also swelling in the president's legs. So in the effort of transparency, the president wanted me to share a note from his physician with all of you today. In recent weeks, President Trump noted mild swelling in his lower legs. In keeping with routine medical care and out of an abundance of caution, this concern was thoroughly evaluated by the White House medical unit. The president underwent a comprehensive examination, including diagnostic vascular studies. Bilateral lower extremity venous Doppler ultrasounds were performed and revealed chronic venous insufficiency, a benign and common condition, particularly in individuals over the age of 70. Importantly, there was no evidence of deep vein thrombosis or arterial disease. Laboratory testing included a complete blood count, comprehensive metabolic panel, coagulation profile, D-dimer, B-type natriuretic peptide, and cardiac biomarkers. All results were within normal limits. An echocardiogram was also performed and confirmed normal cardiac structure and function. No signs of heart failure, renal impairment, or systemic illness were identified. Additionally, recent photos of the president have shown minor bruising on the back of his hand. This is consistent with minor soft tissue irritation from frequent handshaking and the use of aspirin, which is taken as part of a standard cardiovascular prevention regimen. This is a well-known and benign side effect of aspirin therapy. And the president remains in excellent health, which I think all of you witness on a daily basis here.
Excellent health. Wait a minute. This don't look like excellent health. King Cankles over there look like he's struggling. Okay, I call him Swankles. President Swankles, besides struggling to stay awake, is struggling with this swelling. I'm gonna see if I can bring up another photo for those of you. As a matter of fact, let me do this real quick. The White House claimed that this man is in excellent health. Yeah, I don't think so. Not looking like this. Excellent health, looking like that? No. So my question is, why is Donald Trump using a stunt double? Okay, let's look at this picture right here. I have a better picture of some of the bruising, and then we'll continue on. Let me just share this tab. Hold on. What do y'all think this special announcement is about while I'm pulling this up? What is this special announcement all about? Hang on, guys. All right, you see the bruising on his hand? Because this is why I'm talking about this, because JD Vance was just talking to the media about how he's ready to take over as president. And then suddenly Donald Trump kind of goes missing. He's MIA for a couple of days. All right. And then he look at this. Let's look at Donald Trump's swollen ankles. All right. I ain't never seen Biden's ankles look like this. I've never seen his hand be bruised. Look at this right here. This one right here. It's just... Okay. Look at his ankles. Look at his ankles. And this is the picture of health? For who? Anyway, let me try to find the photo of him yesterday. So Donald Trump, September 1st. Let's see, September 1st, 2025. Okay. So here are some of the photos, because it was rumored that Donald Trump was no longer with us. It was rumored that Donald Trump was no longer with us. And he decides that he's going to show us that he's alive and well. The problem is he doesn't look alive and well at all. Not at all. He is incredibly swollen. Incredibly swollen. Let me go back to these other pictures. Let me see if I can. Yeah, let me do this. I'm going to take you guys to my page and we're going to take a look at something real quick. And then we'll get to what the doctor is saying she thinks is wrong with Donald Trump. I'm going to show you what I posted earlier because this way you can see the pictures a lot more clear. Because if you ask me, I'm wondering if Donald Trump is going to step down. I'm wondering if he's finally going to throw in the towel and decide that he has had enough. Okay. So here is what I shared earlier. Right. Here we go. Harpo, who is this man? Who is this? This doesn't look like Donald Trump at all. And what happened to his forehead? US President Donald Trump exits the White House and walks to his motorcade en route to the Trump National Golf Course on September 1st. This was yesterday. This now we're gonna do a poll. Do you guys believe this is really Donald Trump? Now, from the side, this looks like him, but yeah, I don't know. Y'all tell me. Where is the real Donald Trump? Because I'm not buying this foolishness. Okay. This doesn't look like Donald Trump like at all. If this is Donald Trump, we got problems. We got issues. So we're gonna do a poll. You guys let me know if you think I'm gonna put the poll up now. Do you guys think Donald Trump here's the poll. Let's go ahead and start it. All right. Is Donald Trump. So the question is Donald Trump using a body double? All right. Is he using a body double? A simple yes or no poll. You guys tell me what you think. All right. And we're going to get back to listening to Don Lemon. All right. And then we're going to listen to what this special announcement is because I'm curious now. I'm very curious now. Some of y'all saying, Kia said, was that supposed to be Donald Trump? Was that? Let me put it back on the screen. Let me put it back on the screen. All right. Is that supposed to be Donald Trump? Perhaps they fashioned a CIA quality high-tech mask for him. Those symptoms are heart related. That black evil heart is about to get the best of him in the worst way. Nesto Shackle Shuffle Walk of Shame. Some of you are asking, where is his hair? Sweet and Sexy 66 has entered the chat. She said, hey, sis. Yes, a body double is absolutely crazy. And they're talking about this swelling. Hold on a second. They're trying to say that this bruising is from handshaking. Okay, well, Biden shook just as many hands. He didn't, Sleepy Joe, sleepy. No, that's Sleepy Don. Sleepy Joe did not have all that bruising, so that's a load of crap. Blackwood Bitter said that will never happen. Listen, I don't know. Somebody in the comments on a post said that they're going to call if that is the case, if Trump is dying and he is going to step down, they're going to call it Trump teeth. Trump teeth. I can't. All right, let's see what this doctor has to say. on, guys. I'm sorry. I'm hearing in the chat that you guys are not getting any sound. My apologies. Give me just 1 second. Let me stop sharing and I'll reshare it again. Sorry about that. All right. I'll reshare and we'll pick it right back up. So this is a kidney doctor that we were hearing from. And I will roll it back to where we were. All right. So she's giving her take on what she feels is going on with Donald Trump, and apologies that there was no sound. All right.
That he doesn't have it, but let's just say based on appearance, age, and likelihood, 6.7 million Americans have congestive heart failure. And when you have that, it can cause a backup of fluid and give you those swollen ankles, swollen legs like he has. If you have congestive heart failure, the treatment would be to give you a water pill, like a diuretic. Most average Americans will take pills by mouth, but if you're the president and you have access, you could take an IV water pill like Lasix. And what would you use? You would use your veins in your hands, okay? You would have IVs in your hands. Not saying that this is what he's done, but just telling you how my mind is working when I look at his hand. If indeed he is on aspirin, a blood thinner, and he's getting IVs, then that could explain this non-minor bruising. This is pretty significant bruising, but of course that would help his swelling to go down. The other thing that could happen potentially, I don't know for him, I'm not his physician, I would suspect that if you're getting a lot of water pills through the IV, that could cause your kidneys to not work as well, which could also cause you to have a backup of fluid. I am a board certified kidney doctor. I see this every day. He looks pale. A lot of people don't know that as far as your kidneys, they're responsible in a lot of ways for keeping you from being anemic or having low blood. Your kidneys cause your bone marrow to make red blood cells. So if you had any of these situations, then that could cause you to have the pale skin, the swelling in the legs and the ankles, the bruising in the hand that's bad enough to need to have some type of a concealer. My issue is, Don, that in the past, he has not been honest about his health.
He sure hasn't. I'm going to pause this for 1 second. Look at this photo. I don't know who airbrushed him, but they missed a whole section up here in his hairline. Like, this is horrible. He looks terrible. Diva314 said, I can't see another person having an identical body to his. Laugh out loud. Well, I'm going to tell y'all something. If this is really Donald Trump, he doesn't have long. Okay. He already has the swollen ankles. We already saw the bruising. If this is really Donald Trump, he does not have very long. And I have been checking in to see if the White House started this update. This update was supposed to come at 2:00, and we are still waiting. Okay. He has not come forward yet. So apparently he's still getting his makeup done. And they want to make sure that they don't miss a spot this time. You know, he's getting that lace front straightened out.
He's had that one doctor from 2013 to 2018 saying he was the healthiest president ever in the history. He had another doctor prior to that who said he was the healthiest president ever elected. And then that doctor came back and admitted that Donald Trump actually dictated that note. And so he's already given us a history of not being able to trust what he says. So I don't care how many times they stand from the podium and say, we're being transparent and they give us information. I'm still using my medical brain. And it's telling me that in this almost 80-year-old man, there's something else going on other than just really common, benign conditions. I don't trust it.
Okay. So let's look at it. So look how pale he is here. And I mean, and you can look at, and I don't believe these to be doctored photographs. That's a lot of bronzer or whatever it is. Now let's talk about, we're going to go through all of this. Can you just go back to the hands for me, Andy? Okay. Let's look at the doctor. When you look at this, and what did Caroline Levitt said, that this is aspirin or whatever? I know he's not your patient, but what would you say if you were to look at a patient that had this type of symptom? What would you say the issue is, and how would you, what would you recommend the treatment for them to be?
Okay. So what she was saying that he's on aspirin, which is a blood thinner. And yes, having a blood thinner is something that could cause some bruising. typically not this much bruising. And so if I were his doctor and he's having this much bruising, I would say, what else could cause bruising? Liver issues. If you have liver failure, if you're on certain medications that are causing your liver enzymes to be up, if you have hepatitis, if you're taking certain cholesterol medicines, I would check his liver function tests and find out why he's bruising so easily. Also, if I were his doctor, I might already know that he's on a high blood thinner. Now, I'm not saying it's about him specifically. I'm just talking about in general, if he were my patient. If he did have congestive heart failure and if it were severe, then part of that management is a stronger blood thinner than just aspirin, a stronger blood thinner, which could cause a heavy bruising. And if you were my patient, then I would also know that if he's getting IVs in his hand, then maybe he needs to start switching them up and going to the other hand. This is not typical bruising. And if he's getting bruised like this from just a low dose aspirin, then there's still, I would suspect, an underlying problem.
Okay. And so you said that's not typical bruising from an aspirin. What about, it said from, they use the excuse that this is happening from handshakes. And I don't know why that would be happening from handshakes. So you'd think it would be on the other side.
Yeah, it's just not likely. And we already know that he's a germaphobe, so he doesn't love shaking hands. But for the longest time, taking a low dose aspirin, an 81 milligram aspirin, was the standard of care in people who were over 40 to prevent heart attacks. So that means he would not have been the first president taking a low dose aspirin. He's not the first president to shake a lot of hands. Why didn't we see this with President Obama, President Bush, President Clinton, you name it? It's not typical. No matter how much they say that it's normal, it's not. I believe that there's more. Yeah.
Okay. And what would you, if you were a patient, like what would your concern be? I know I told you what's the prognosis, but what would your concern be for this person? Would you tell them to fix their diet? Should they be hospitalized? Should they be monitored often? How often should you see them? How severe would you think this is?
I would just say we need to do a full workup on why you're bruising so easily. And so we would call it a coagulopathy workup to make sure that there's no leukemia, to make sure he doesn't have low platelets, that he doesn't have poorly functioning platelets. Again, to make sure he doesn't have liver function issues, to make sure that he's not taking a medication that is causing him to do this. Because sure, bruising on the hands, okay, is not necessarily nice looking or aesthetically pleasing. But if you bruise this easily on your hand, what do you think would happen if you fell and you hit your head? I would be concerned that he's a high risk for a brain bleed if he were to fall.
I don't think Donald Trump falling is really going to be the issue here. That man has already fell. He fell going up the stairs on Air Force One. So he kind of already fell. Mary Broussard said, oh, he looks leathery too. And Ale said, those sausage fingers though, not the sausage fingers. We're gonna hear from another content creator. She goes by the name of Tabitha Speaks Politics, and she is absolutely hilarious. So we're gonna switch gears and we're gonna get her take on what she think is going on with King Kankles himself, President Swankles over here. And I just checked in on the live and the chat is going crazy. Everyone's like, why is he late? Where is he? What's going on? Is he dead? So I don't know what to tell you, but I can tell y'all something ain't right. Let's switch gears and hear from Tabitha.
I can't figure out is what would an administration, what were they thinking when they allowed millions of people from prisons all over the world, not just from South America, Venezuela, all over the world, from the Congo in Africa, hundreds of people, thousands of people from the Congo, rough prisoners, from Asia, from Europe, rough parts of Europe. Why would they allow them to come into our country? Why would they do that? It's the one thing I can't figure out. And I don't believe it was Joe Biden. I really don't. I mean, look, he's been a sort of a moderate person over his lifetime, not a smart person, but a somewhat vicious person, I will say. If you feel sorry for him, don't feel so sorry because he's vicious. What he did with his political opponent and all of the people that he hurt a lot of people, Biden. And so I really don't feel sorry for him.
That's what Donald Trump had to say when a reporter asked him during a press conference over at the Oval Office his thoughts on the announcement that former President Joe Biden was diagnosed with prostate cancer. And now 3.5 months later, because it was announced that Joe Biden was diagnosed with prostate cancer back in May. 3.5 months later, we're trying to figure out if this is really Donald Trump. The press is telling us that this is Donald Trump, but this man is so unrecognizable that it's hard to believe that this is Donald Trump. Yeah, these photos were released yesterday. Here's the photo from a different angle. Still doesn't look like Donald Trump. And the White House has the press so far away that they have to use zoom in lenses to get a photograph of Donald Trump. The White House is telling us that this is Donald Trump. Unrecognizable. This is another photo taken of him in the back seat of the car. Of course, it's blown up. Donald Trump looks like he is on his deathbed. He looks terrible. Meanwhile, this is Joe Biden leaving church on Sunday.
Come on.
Bitch, he's old, but he's recognizable. Anywho, there's lots of rumors floating around because we still have not seen Donald Trump in front of the cameras for a week now. I believe somebody said since last Tuesday. The rumors are he's in renal failure. He's having kidney failure. He's dealing with congestive heart failure. He's having many strokes, or he had one huge stroke, and they've been trying to work with him to get him up to par to be in front of the cameras. The other rumors are he's in hospice, and there's all of these rumors are flying, and yet there's some weird shit happening over at the White House. This is what somebody across the street from the White House recorded.
Wait, what? What the hell? I swear it looked like somebody fell. Hold on.
Recorded.
Y'all stay in that little outhouse on the end. Oh, somebody there, right? Right now, right? Oh, there you go. You got it? You zoomed in? I guess that's one way to clean out. That's crazy. I know you can get a whole TV show. Can you make out what they're throwing away? This could definitely make Washingtonian products. This could definitely make it.
Now, the rumor is that window leads to the residence where Donald Trump and the first family lives. What could be in those garbage bags that they are throwing out of the window? Was somebody waiting down below on the grounds to get those garbage bags? And who was the one who got the garbage bags. What is in the garbage bags? Now, there's conversation also happening. The problem with that happening is that no one is supposed to be in the residence if Donald Trump is not in the residence. Is Donald Trump throwing shit out the window? Is Donald Trump in the residence? And if Donald Trump isn't in the residence, where is Donald Trump? Now, the other rumor is that Marine One, the helicopter, has been spotted leaving the White House, heading to Walter Reed Hospital. If that rumor is true, was those garbage bags being thrown out the window while Donald Trump was allegedly headed to Walter Reed? What is going on? What is going on? What is going on with Donald Trump's health? What is in those garbage bags that's being thrown out the White House window? Why can't the press get in close and talk to Donald Trump? Why is the White House press not saying anything? Why aren't they pressing KKK Caroline, her lying ass? Why aren't they pressing her for answers? What is going on? Last night, the White House posted this on their Instagram account.
Let me share some of the biggest lessons I've learned from a lifetime spent building dreams. First, if you think that you're too young to do something great, let me tell you that you are wrong. You're not too young. In America, with drive and ambition, young people can do anything. Second of all, and very importantly, you have to love what you do. I rarely see somebody that's successful that doesn't love what he or she does. Third thing is to think big. You know, you're going to do something, you might as well think big, because it's just as hard to solve a small problem as a big problem, and it's just as much energy and everything else, except the result is going to be a smaller one. So love what you do, but think, work hard. Work hard. Fifth is don't lose your momentum. You just want to keep it going, and you have to know if you are losing it, you have to know when you're losing it, so maybe you stop and maybe it's time to stop. Number six, if you want to change the world, you have to have the courage to be an outsider. In other words, you have to take certain risks and do things a little bit differently. Otherwise, if that weren't the case, everybody would be successful. Number seven is to trust your instincts, common sense. You can go very far in life with common sense. Eighth, everybody should believe in the American dream. It's real, it's there, and it's right before you. Ninth, think of yourself as a winner. The power of positive thinking. In recent years, too many of our young people have really been taught to think of themselves as victims. But in America, we reject that idea that anyone is born a victim. Our heroes are the ones who take charge of their own destiny despite the odds. And next is to be an original. The old-time greats were people who had the confidence to be a little different. God only created one of you, so don't try to be someone else. Finally, and most importantly, never, ever give up. And I've learned that perseverance is everything, so whatever happens, no matter where you are in life, stay optimistic and just keep.
Now, I don't know about you, but I expected to see at the end of that video a picture of Donald Trump with his birth date and his sunset date. That's the vibe that I got from that video. What is going on? And then after they posted that, later on in the night, they posted this. Trump is set to make a televised announcement from the Oval Office on September 2nd, 2025 at 2 p.m. And baby, I can guarantee you that the entire world will be tuned in.
And that's a fact. And on that note, it looks like he may have finally stepped to the podium. So we're going to go ahead and switch gears and let's see what this announcement is all about. All right. Because the man was late. He was seriously late. Freedom keeps missing me says, can you imagine being hated so much? You get to watch millions pregame your end. Whew, baby. You saying something right there. You saying something right there. All right, let's see.
Well, thank you very much. It's a very important day and an important announcement with great friends of mine. I think I can say this group is every one of them. I rate a 10. I can't always say that, even if they're Republicans, and these are Republicans, great Republicans. I want to thank you all for being here for this important announcement, 7 years in the making. As you know, this has been going on for a long period of time, and I am thrilled to report that the U.S. Space Command headquarters will move to the beautiful locale of a place called Huntsville, Alabama, forever to be known from this point forward as Rocket City. Okay, so Huntsville, Alabama, we love Alabama. I only won it by about 47 points. I don't think that influenced my decision, though, right? That didn't, right? But we had a lot of competition for this, and Alabama's getting it, Huntsville in particular. So congratulations, everybody. Katie, congratulations. This will result in more than 30,000 Alabama jobs and probably much more than that, and hundreds of millions of dollars of investment. And that's billions, because it can't be millions. It's billions and billions of dollars. Most importantly, this decision will help America defend and dominate the high frontier, as they call it. I want to thank Secretary Pete Hegseth. He's doing a fantastic job. And Secretary of the Air Force, Troy Mink. Troy, thank you very much. Great job you're doing, Troy. This is such a big deal. This is one that everybody wanted to know. What are you doing? I also want to thank Senators Katie Britt, and I want to give my condolences. Your grandmother, her grandmother just passed away. She was 100, right?
100, and she loves you, Mr. President.
Well, and she was very proud of you.
Thank you very much.
Very, very proud of you. So thank you, Katie.
Wonderful woman.
She must have been. To produce you indirectly, I can tell you she had to be. Tommy Tuberville, who's a great coach. And I won't say anything about what happened with Alabama football this weekend.
Let's leave that out.
But you're not used to that, right? You're not used to that. But Tommy, Auburn won, that's right. They did. So you're happy. Tommy's been a great senator, as you know, and a fantastic guy all around. He was also a tremendous coach. House Armed Services Committee Chair Mike Rogers. Thank you, Mike. Where's Mike? Mike, thank you very much. Doing great, Mike. Representatives Barry Moore, all great friends, Robert Adderholt, Gary Palmer, and Dale Strong. Thank you all very much, fellas. Appreciate it. In my first term, I created a thing called Space Force. So important. You know, we were losing the race in space very badly to China and to Russia. And now we're far and away number one in space, and reestablish Space Com with a mission to protect American space assets and detect any threat to our homeland. We initially selected Huntsville for the Space Com headquarters, yet those plans were wrongfully obstructed by the Biden administration. And as you know, they moved them to a different locale. And today we're moving forward with what we want to do and the place that we want to have this. And this will be there for hopefully hundreds of years. That's where it's going to be. I will say I want to thank Colorado. The problem I have with Colorado, one of the big problems, they do mail-in voting. They went to all mail-in voting. So they have automatically crooked elections. And we can't have that. When a state is for mail-in voting, that means they want dishonest elections, because that's what that means. So that played a big factor also. In Huntsville, Space Com will play a key role in building the Golden Dome, as you know. That's going to be a big thing. Everybody wants to be a participant in it. Missile Defense Shield, we're going to be having a Golden Dome that the likes of which nobody's ever seen before. The finest, the best. And by the way, Canada called. They want to be a part of it. and that'll be great. But Canada wants very much to be included in that, and we're going to work something out with them, I hope. It will also ensure that our technological capabilities, of which we're way ahead of anybody else, there's nobody close, remain unmatched long into the future. So I'd like to ask Secretary Hegseth to say a few words. He was very much a part of it. And really, everybody behind me was, every one of these people would call me and lobby me. I said, Katie, I don't want to talk to you anymore. I know what you want. She's
I'm disappointed. Mary Broussard said, gang, I waited for this. Diva 314 said the devil is not going anywhere. Kia said, let's see what he looked like. Damn, he looked like the same old Trump. But I'm gonna tell you something. They have so much airbrush makeup on him. They even, hold on a second, let me see if I can make this bigger. Look at his cheeks. Okay, they even tried to airbrush color on his cheeks, but they airbrushed so much color, Donald Trump looks like somebody punched him in his face on both sides of his cheek. Okay, he definitely looks swollen to me. But listen, I put up a new poll, y'all. How bad does JD Vance want to take over as president? So bad he can taste it. He was mad the last sniper missed. He is patiently waiting for the end. So you guys go ahead and participate in the poll. Let me give you the results of the last poll. The question was, is Donald Trump using a body double? And 27 of y'all voted. 48% said yes. 52% said no. So it was almost 50-50. Kia said, I need to do some soul searching. I'm feeling true disappointment right now. And I know that's not right. Girl, you ain't the only one. We all disappointed. A&D Property Management and Maintenance Services said, wow, he hitting us with the Nesta. Wow. Life Ain't Over said, do I see more patches of hair gone? Yeah, you know what? Let me hold on a second. Let me move this on out the way. Let's see. Yeah, well, I'll tell you what, they made sure that they airbrushed him all the way into the corners. Okay, they made sure they didn't miss a beat. But I'm trying to figure out, why does Donald Trump look like somebody punched him upside his face? Okay, y'all are voting. Keep the votes coming. Matter of fact, let me just put it up there. I'm disappointed. Okay, honestly, I thought Donald Trump was gonna say, you know what, I'm sick, not feeling good. I'm gonna go ahead and step down. But that's not the case. Donald Trump ain't going anywhere. And if he do go somewhere, it's going to be involuntary. He is not letting up. But is this really live? Or was this pre-recorded and then just dropped? Because we didn't see Donald Trump walking in. A lady 747 said him walking dead. Not him walking dead. Hold on. Normally you see the person walking into the Oval Office, but we didn't. Let me just rewind this back. It just cut back in. It just cut in with him standing there. So, is it possible this was pre-recorded? Because I see some press in the front, a couple, but just take a look at this. Just take a look at this. And then you see there was an issue with the sound, right? Let me see if I can get it right. Oops, I went too far, y'all. Sorry. Right before we started, okay? And it just instantly cuts to here. We don't see him walking in like usual. Everyone is standing in place. I don't know who this is in the red dress. Where is Carolyn Leavitt? I see Pete Hegseth. I don't even know if I'm saying his name right. I don't care. There's JD Vance over there looking thirsty as ever. Okay. 57% of y'all said, how bad does JD Vance want to be president? So bad he can taste it. Okay. He was looking a little disappointment, like, oh shit, this was the goddamn announcement. I know we talked about this, but I was hoping it was something else. He looks awfully disappointed. Good Trump's face. Baby, I don't know. But what I do know is that they got them ankles covered. It's looking like they got him some bigger pants. They're a little baggy at the bottom. Okay. He's shifting uncomfortably. Look at how he's shifting. Look at his shoulders. Okay. I muted it so we could focus on what we do see. His hands are, other than him opening his hands are covered. So we won't be able to see if he has any new bruises. His tie is so damn tight. I mean, the man looked like he could barely breathe. Donald Trump was looking like he was losing some weight. He looks real swollen here. And JD Vance looks awfully disappointed. Look at his face. He's like, God damn it. I want to be president so bad I could taste it. What I will tell you is that Donald Trump doesn't sound sick. He sounds very lively. But I'm questioning as to whether this is really live or not. Because we did not see him walk in. Notice that. Now let me fast forward. Because I really don't care what the man is talking about. Okay, he's going to step away from the podium for a second. And let's see.
Than politicians. So they fought very hard to get it. And it's an honor to give it to Huntsville. Pete, say a few words, please.
Oh, yeah. Donald Trump definitely looks like he's missing some hair. He got a big old spot right there.
Thank you, Mr. President. As usual, right place, right time, for the right reason. In your first administration, you established the Space Force at a time when we knew we had to be looking to.
Oh, my God. Look at his neck. I mean, just from his chin down, you cannot tell me that this is health. I mean, he got one of them like rooster necks. Is it the rooster that has a little thing coming down on the neck? Anyway.
That domain of space. You also reestablished SpaceCom to ensure that priority was put in place. And you, through the Air Force, independently identified that Huntsville, Alabama was the right place to put it. For other reasons, in the next administration under Biden, they decided to move it somewhere else. Well, during that time, the DOD Inspector General, the Government Affairs Office, they did their own assessments. And where did they say SpaceCom should go? Huntsville, Alabama. So what you're doing today, Mr. President, is restoring it to precisely where it should be based on what the Space Force, the Air Force, your leadership believes will give us strategic advantage in the future. That is Huntsville, Alabama. We are way ahead in space, but this will ensure we stay leaps and bounds ahead because that's the most important domain. Whoever controls the skies will control the future of warfare. And Mr. President, today you're ensuring that happens. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Katie, would you like to say something?
Mr. President, we are grateful for your leadership on this and restoring Space Command to its rightful home in Huntsville, Alabama. This delegation has worked together, both chambers, both parties, to make sure that Huntsville was the place that Space Command called home. As was mentioned, obviously the Biden administration chose to make this political. What we want to do is put the safety and security of Americans first. We want to make sure that our warfighter is put first, and we want to make sure that America continues to lead. And today, Mr. President, you've allowed that to happen. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Tommy, please.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Mr. President.
Donald Trump looked like he's struggling. He looked like he can't wait to get this shit over with. A lady 747 said they say he smells bad. I think that's why everyone's face looks like that. Yeah, JD Vance looks like he's holding his breath. Mrs. Beebe said all white men are with cankles. Right. Donald Trump, Black MAGA wants us to believe that Donald Trump loves him some black people. That's what Black MAGA wants us to believe. He loves the black community. I don't see one black person standing up there with him. There's always the one token black dude. Okay, and I know some people don't like this term, but I'm gonna say it. There's always the one Uncle Tom standing there in the crowd. I don't see one. Okay, I don't see one. But anyway, Donald Trump looks like he is struggling. He looks like he got about 2.5 minutes before, not even, I gave him too much credit. He looked like he got 15.5 seconds before he's about to shit his pants. That's what it looked like. But anyway, let's keep going.
This is a great day for our country, not just for our state of Alabama. We need help in our military. We need to catch up. And as Secretary Hesek said, we're not behind in space.
Why does JD Vance's face look like that? Look at his face. Forget about the person who's talking. I'm gonna mute this for a second. It's more fun with it on mute because who cares what they're talking about? It ain't what we thought it was gonna be. This is his special announcement. Bro, this could have waited. Okay, this could have waited till after lunch, after dinner. This could have waited until 2 a.m. when we were all asleep. Look at JD Vance's face. Look at the guy in the cream color suit. He's looking like, I can't hold my breath for too much longer. I mean, he's just looking up here, there, everywhere. Okay, he's frowning. JD Vance has got a little bit of a burrow and a frown. Donald Trump is frowning. What is going on here, you guys? Looking like that top lip sank. I'm still trying to figure out what's going on with Donald Trump's chicken neck. You know, and I'm gonna tell y'all something. Hold on, I see it. Hold on a second. Look at Donald Trump's. It's his right hand, but if you're looking at the screen, it's gonna be the hand to the left, the hand closer to the podium. Why does it look like his left hand is lighter than the right hand? Y'all see that? Okay, you can't see it because I got Sleepy Don in the way. And give me 1 second. Let me make an adjustment here. Let me move the comments down. Okay. It may not be that easy to see. I'm taking everything down so you guys can see what I'm talking about. All right. Look at his left hand. Okay. Why is his left hand lighter than the right hand? And I don't think it's just the lighting. I'm going to let it play now. And I want you guys to tell me what you see. Because I think they done put makeup on his hand to make it look like he don't have any bruises. Take a look. Just pay attention to his hands. Pay attention to his hands. Do y'all see it now? You see how this hand is much lighter? It's even the top part of his hand is even lighter than his fingers. Like somebody went overboard. It's almost as light as his shirt. Do y'all see that? Do y'all see that? Nah, bro, you ain't getting away that quick. Hold on. I want to see this hand. I want to look at Donald Trump's hand. It's not the same color as the other hand. Not the same color as the other hand. It's not even the same color as his fingers. Y'all tell me what y'all think. Is it just me? Lady 747 says zombie hand. And he's still talking about Biden. Still blaming Biden for every damn thing. What's going on with the hand? So apparently they put makeup on his hand. Donald Trump looks like he's about to fall over and everybody is frowning. Every single body. Girl in a red dress is on the other side and maybe, you know, she doesn't have a good sense of smell. But the dude in the middle in a beige suit looks like he is praying to God. That's what it looked like. He is over here. He looks so worried. JD Vance is like, but I still don't understand. Why is he still alive? I thought I was taking over. Yeah. You guys tell me. I'm going to put up another poll. All right. But 64% of y'all said he wants to be president so bad he can taste it. We're going to put up another poll. Do you think that Donald Trump has makeup covering his bruised hand? That's going to be the next poll. Thank you so much for participating in this poll. This is going to be the last poll, most likely, of the live. So make sure you participate. All right. So here we go. All right. Is Donald Trump covering his bruised hand with makeup? All right. Because that's what it looked like to me. And somebody did not, they didn't color match. All right. That is going to be probably our final poll. Oh, hold on a second. Mr. Wannabe over here got up to the podium to say a few words. Okay, Donald Trump.
Mr. President, for this, and we look forward to building a huge space command and having the Donald J. Trump Space Command Center in Huntsville, Alabama.
That's what it is. That's his big announcement. The Donald J. Trump, let's say right? Yeah. The Donald Trump. Hold on a second. Hold on, y'all.
I would tell you today, and I've spoke with the president for the last 3 or 4 years about this. If I thought it needed to go somewhere else because I understand the security of our country, I'd be for that. But the best place for Space Command is Huntsville, Alabama, because what we have and what it means to this country is going to be so important. So thank you, Mr. President, for this. And we look forward to building a huge Space Command and having the Donald J. Trump Space Command Center in Huntsville, Alabama.
They're going to build a Space Command Center in Huntsville, Alabama. The Donald J. Trump Space Command. That's what his big announcement is all about? That he's spending more taxpayer money on some bullshit? That's what his big announcement is all about. That he is building a Space Command in his name. Baby. Vance is lost. Greg Jones say he's standing there nodding off. You know what? Donald Trump is like a Nebuchadnezzar. Look up Nebuchadnezzar in the Bible. Go to the book of Daniel and look up the story about Nebuchadnezzar in the Bible. I think it's somewhere between Daniel chapter 1 and 3. Look up Nebuchadnezzar in the Bible. Okay. Nebuchadnezzar erected a golden statue that I think was something like 99 feet tall, or was it 9 feet tall or 90 feet tall? Maybe it was 9 feet tall. Anyway. Oh my God. Mary said, I'm surprised he didn't have a parade for this. Let's hear from wannabe JD Vance.
Here.
Sure. Well, Mr. President, thank you. I'll be very brief here. I lobbied the president hard to put it in Ohio, but he said these people behind us, these Alabamas, are just too powerful and too persuasive. And so it's in Alabama. But as Tommy said, this is exactly the right place for Space Force and Space Command. I think Americans ought to appreciate the fact that you can't win the battle of the future unless you control the skies. The cyber security, the communications, the entire infrastructure of the battle in the 21st century will be in space. So it was a visionary move in the first administration for the president to set up Space Force. And I think an equally visionary move to make sure that Space Force is right where it should be in Huntsville, Alabama. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much. Gentlemen, anybody want to say anything? Would you like to say?
Mr. President, another promise made, another promise kept. You think about it, Redstone Arsenal is critical to national security. The president said when you were the 45th president, let's do what's right for national security. And today, that's exactly what we're doing.
Let's do what's right for national security. Then maybe you should not have given Elon Musk and Doge access to Social Security and all of Social Security numbers. Maybe you shouldn't have given him access to Medicaid and Medicare. Maybe you shouldn't have allowed him to completely destroy and demolish our government agencies. And now they're struggling to figure out how we're going to do what. You want to talk about national security? Let me not get on it. Anyway, he's just saying what Dumb told him to say. Yeah, but he had to throw in there that he wanted it to be in Ohio. I wonder why he wanted it to be in Ohio. But either way, he didn't get his way. And Donald Trump just did it because, you know, if JD Vance had said Huntsville, it would have been somewhere else. Donald Trump doesn't like JD Vance at all, but you know, he needed some brown nosers. A lady 747. I can't stand these meetings where everyone tells Trump how great he is. It's so disgusting. It damn sure is. Look at Donald Trump's face. Look at his face where it's paused. Ugh. I don't know what that face is all about. I don't know if that face is I'm feeling good because they're buttering me up. I'm feeling good because now I'm going to have something else with my name on it. I don't know if the man is in pain. But anyway, I'm going to fast forward to see if they show him leaving. Because the last time he left a press conference, did you guys see that where his arm, his shoulder jerked or something like that? I mean, he looked like he had an alien about to jump out his shoulder. I'm just saying, like, what was that about? All right. I'm going to fast forward through all this. Pretty much everybody comes up to speak. And I'm going to mute it because I really don't care what Donald Trump is talking about. The way Donald Trump moves, he doesn't move in a natural way. He turns this way. You know, imagine if you know, he kind of walks like this, turns like that, does like this, turns like that. Like, what? I can't. I cannot. But for those of you who thought that this was going to be an announcement that his health is in jeopardy and he's stepping down, well, we're just going to have to wait a little bit longer for that. Trust me, if this man is doing this bad, okay, because the pictures don't lie. Pictures do not lie. They can cover all this up with makeup. You guys have seen the transformations online of old women who suddenly become 30 years younger with makeup, got no teeth in their mouth, but they pop in their dentures and some lashes and some eye makeup. And you like, whoa, a little bit of a foundation, concealer, and bronzer. It works miracles. So we just gonna have to wait a little bit longer. But if you ask me, I do not believe at all that Donald Trump is going to make it through 4 years. The man is already struggling as it is. I don't know what he's rambling on about now, because he don't never stick to the script.
Watched television last night, and I'm watching the news, and I see that 9 people were killed in Chicago, and 54 were badly wounded with bullets.
Wow, he saw that 9 people were unalived in Chicago, and he saw that it was riddled with bullets. Y'all know what he's trying to do, right? Because he's trying to justify sending troops now to Chicago. New York is next, and then it'll probably be Atlanta after that, or Memphis, or Nashville, or some other major city, or Philadelphia, maybe even. But he wasn't concerned about the church that had an active shooter incident where 17 children were harmed and 2 lost their lives. I mean, a child was shot in the head. He wasn't concerned about that. Why don't you send your national troops to where that incident happened, to that city? Because Chicago, or at least DC anyway, is saying that crime is down by 30% and has been for years. So what is the problem? So this man is up to no good, but his karma is coming.
Say, that's not this country. We have to do something. And I do say this, I say this very much. I'm not speaking to anybody but them right now. I would love to receive calls from governors and mayors saying they need help. We'll help them. We have a lot of people. We have a great force. We have a great military force. Pete will tell you that when I was running for office, and this was a big headline, I think,
here we go.
Probably got me a couple of votes, but you couldn't sign people in the military. Nobody wanted to join the military, the Army, Air Force, the Navy, Marines, Space Force, Coast Guard. We never forget Coast Guard.
Space Force. You know what? I can't. Donald Trump always goes off script. So he's got to justify, because it is going to happen. You listen to my words. I don't know if it's going to be days or weeks, but probably in the next few days or so. That's this is a setup. We're going to hear that the National Guard has been deployed now to Chicago. Okay, we didn't ask you to send the military to Chicago. Why you got to send the military to Chicago? They're doing fine. This is a part of his plan to declare martial law. He wants the military to become law enforcement to become ICE, and all of those things. So you guys just keep watching, keep noticing what is happening and what is going on. All right, I will bring you more news as it comes in. I just wanted to have a little quick afternoon kiki, because I noticed some things and I thought it was awfully strange. I don't know what they pumped Donald Trump full of. Okay, I don't know how many pills this man popped. I don't know what they injected him with. I don't know if they hit him with some electrolytes or some endorphins. Okay, but Donald Trump is clearly in a lot of pain. He does not even walk straight or upright like a normal person. He's hunched over. He moves in a very, mechanical way. And as I said, it's only a matter of time. All right. If you guys want to continue watching this, it's CNBC TV 18. You can jump on YouTube and watch the rest of this. But I'm disappointed. This is not the announcement that I was looking for it. So yeah, I'm upset. I am upset. He should check Alabama for crime statistics. There are a lot of places that do have issues with crime. If he wants to send the military, A&D Property Management said, of course he's going to send him to Chicago. He said he was, and then he said, yeah, we're going to help New York too. I wish you would. You go ahead and try it. Go ahead and try it. New York does not like Donald Trump at all. They try to tear his building apart brick by brick. Anyway, Mary Broussard said a war within the USA. Oh yeah, they're it's coming. It's coming. They're working on it little by little. Gura Jones said we still want to see them files though. Oh yeah, MAGA ain't talking about that. MAGA ain't talking about them files. You don't hear nothing too much about the Epstein files anymore. But anyway, so y'all, let me go ahead and give you the results of this final poll. All right, so let me just see. 14 of y'all voted. Is Donald Trump covering his bruised hand with makeup? What does it look like to you? 93% of y'all said yes. 7% said, nah, I don't see it. So thank you guys so much for voting. I am closing the poll. Listen, y'all, I'm going to be live later tonight in just a few hours. We are going to be continuing with looking at our favorite side chick and jail boo, none other than Nesto. So we did a marathon over the weekend. It was a holiday weekend, so we did a Nesto marathon. We started at the beginning. We looked at parts 1 through 10. And this evening, we're going to be going through parts 11 through 14. These are the first, pretty much the first videos or jail calls that we got on Nesto. So we started it at the beginning. Those of you who have been with us, we've been covering this story for 2 years. It is still going strong. You may have actually heard, I dropped the news the other night that your boy Nesto is facing, where is he? There he is. Nesto got hit with 2 additional indictments. Okay, more charges. Okay, and these are new charges. So he didn't get indicted on some old stuff. He got hit with some new charges. So Nesto, we already know he ain't getting out on bond. That's over with. That's over and done. But yeah, 2 additional indictments, and one of those indictments is actually called the strawberry indictment. And you know why? Because a certain blogger, wannabe court blogger, went on her channel talking about Shirley knew everything and she knew about the truck. And you know how I know? Because she still hasn't done anything about it. Well, boo-boo, while you was over there trying to figure out how you going to pay your rent and get your internet cut back on because your subscribers told you to kick rocks. They ain't paying for your bills no more. Shirley Strawberry was doing what she needed to do, and the grand jury met, and they have indicted Nesto on fraud, identity fraud, some more theft by deception, theft by taking, and check fraud and all kind of stuff. So yeah, and what's happening is the prosecution wants to take all of these indictments and combine them into one trial. So yeah. So anyway, so that's the latest and the greatest on Nesto, and we're going to continue looking at those first jail calls. All right. So if you guys missed the marathon that we did, look for this thumbnail on the channel. Go back to that. We will be continuing this evening. We are going back to the beginning, and we are going through some of those first jail calls, and then we'll roll it back and look at some of the more recent stuff. All right, y'all, listen, if you did not hit the like button on the way in, make sure y'all hit the like button on the way out. Kimmy Who said, it is crazy how the sister wives keep running their mouths knowing they are probably next. Well, guess what? Only one of the sister wives still lives here. The other sister wife is in her RV and she ain't in town. She might come every now and again, but she made sure she can cross state lines quick, fast, and in a hurry. So, but you guys join me live. I'll put up the notification in a little bit. We're going to go through those last 4 calls, and we'll see. Maybe we can start. Maybe we'll start around 5:30, but I'll let you guys know. Make sure you subscribe to the channel, turn your notifications on so that you know when I'm going live. and when I drop new videos. And I will see you guys on the next one. Bye, y'all.